Hey, welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. As always, thank you for joining me. If you could, hit that subscribe button down below and let's get right to it. Now, about a year ago, I put out two videos over the SNAP program. Mostly how Donald Trump wanted to change SNAP into a box delivery program of some sort. And in my videos, I discussed how it was going to remove $60 from everyone on SNAP's card, or SNAP benefits, and replace it with $30 worth of food in a box. These foods are going to be high in carbs because they're going to be full of ramen noodle, things like that, and high in sodium and sugars because of the canned goods that were going to be provided in it. Now, I got a lot of comments. Both those videos combined have been viewed over 16,000 times. And I've received hundreds of comments on both those videos. Some good, some bad. But I wanted to go through and talk about a few of the comments. You know, I wanted to talk about just a few of the comments that I've come across. Some that are good and some that are bad. You know, some people really showed how evil they can really be. And let's look over here into the comments section here and let's see who the #1 winner is here. We've got WXX544. Posted this 3 hours ago. It's a YouTube channel with no icon and no subscribers. But, you know, as usual, let's look at the keyboard warriors here. I was in line buying hard rolls and bologna when the person in front of me was buying crab legs and shrimp and paid with an EBT card. Bitching about free food, give me an effing break. One, I wasn't bitching. I was stating the fact that doing it the way Trump wanted to do it was going to kill people. I also made it very clear that I am not on the program anymore. My wife and I were on the program. We left the program. Pretty simple, right? Last I checked, that's how it works. Luckily enough, we were able to get off the program. Now, as for the bulk of your comment, WXX544, very interesting name there, but when I was in line buying rolls and bologna, the person in front of me was buying crab legs and shrimp. Well, I'll give you a little discussion on that. One, if they bought crab legs at full price, they're not very smart. Two, if they got them on sale, I'm not going to hate on them. I've seen stores locally that have had them on sale anywhere between $8 and $10 for a box. And, you know, you can spend that on a thing of hamburger meat, some milk, and a box of hamburger helper. So I'm not going to hate on them completely for that. I'll tell them they're not very smart if they're paying full price. If they weren't on Wahoo special of some sort or manager special, markdowns, or whatever, then it's not a very smart purchase. But I'm not going to begrudge them because guess what? They had to pay for that at the end of the month, I guarantee you. My wife and I bought steaks shortly after we got on the program. We hadn't had any kind of meat or proteins in months. And so we bought 2 steaks. It took about $10 or $15 out of our budget. And at the end of the month, losing that $10 or $15 meant that friends are the ones that ended up feeding us for the last 3, 4, maybe even 5 days of the month. It's been so long I can't really remember. But I do clearly remember being out of food and out of money for food at the end of that month. Guess what? We never did it again. Now, as for shrimp, you're going to really begrudge people for buying frozen shrimp? Really? When that costs almost as much, sometimes depending how you buy it? Really? You're going to begrudge people that? A bag of shrimp? Holy crap. There have been times where we've bought shrimp because it was cheaper than hamburger meat. There are times when I find hamburger meat that I need, the 80-20 or better, because I'm not supposed to have the greasy, fattening, and full of fat that you get in the 7327. I have to have it now, as of late, because of some situations here. But you know, at the time, I was in a bind. I couldn't have that. I'd have leaner hamburger meats than that. And a lot of times, the shrimp were cheaper. Sometimes the shrimp were just cheaper. That's just how it is. I'm not going to begrudge somebody from buying some shrimps. For crying out loud, it's their shrimp. You know, you're saying they bought crab legs and shrimp. I don't see you saying they bought filet mignon. Have you lost your mind? You're going to hate on people for buying shrimp? You know, I understand your feelings on crab legs, because crab legs can be, if they're not on sale, as much as $20 to $25 a box. Now, I'm going to move on to the next one. Donna Lee Club. Seems like it would be better to make a pact with local farmers for fresh produce. It would be a win-win for the community. And I agree. I 100% agree with you that there needs to be more local work together to feed the local community. Now, in my local community, a lot of the farmers, they give their leftover produce, what they can't sell, they give it to the local food banks. And luckily, here in Nacogdoches, Texas, we have 3 or 4 really good food banks that feed a lot of people every week. You know, and they feed a lot of people every week, and I commend them on that. And I think they've got some good, they must have some good either working with the local farmers or the local stores. I also believe that every community should be able to use their food stamp card at the local farmers market. 1, to benefit local farmers, and 2, to benefit your health. Eating local is always better for you. It's always healthier for you. So if you can, you should. Some communities, though, don't have local farms, and some states don't allow you to, don't have the ability for you to use your food stamp card at the farmers markets. And I think this is really a thing that we need to work on. We need to make sure every community that has a farmers market that their EBT cards, food stamp cards, whatever you want to call them, can be used. So I think this person has a very valid point. One last on the hate comments here. Banish All is one YouTuber with 1 subscriber. It's a handout, a charity. What do you expect? Having somebody beg for food and say it's not good enough. That's ridiculous. I'm not begging for food. I'm fighting for other people to be able to live. That's what my videos are about. See, unlike other people, unlike others, when I make a video, it's not because something is necessarily affecting me directly. I'm not one of those people that believe that something's only a problem when and if it affects me or my family. I see it as a problem if it affects anybody. Period. This right here would have killed seniors. This food box would have killed people that were diabetic across the country. Or exacerbated the problem and made their diabetes even worse. Believe it or not, through good diet and exercise, you can reverse the effects of diabetes and bring your A1C down to a reasonable level. But feeding people a bunch of ramen noodle? That's not going to work. It's not healthy. My doctor told me directly that my constant eating of soup in a cup, ramen noodle, was 1, leading to my weight gain, increasing my A1C, and going to kill me because of the sodium. I saw somebody saying that it's not possible, that carbs are the key to your functioning as a human being. That's a comment that I cannot find at the moment. But I saw this the other day. And you know what? Yeah, carbs are important, but they have to be the right kind of carbs. Ramen noodle doesn't give you complex carbohydrates. Ramen noodle gives you simple carbs. Simple carbs are terrible for your body. And an excess of carbs in general, of sugars in general, will lead to you becoming diabetic. Too many carbs, too much sugar. Well, first it leads you to being, insulin resistant. And then you become diabetic at some point in time if you continue down that same path. So yes, I do fight for other people. I fight for people that need help. I will always be there fighting for those that need help. You can hate on me in my comments all you want. And you can share your stories. I commend everybody who is willing to share their stories of their plight they've been going through, giving solutions and ideas, because that's what this channel is about. This channel is about those people that want to make solutions, that don't want to just hate. This channel is about those that want to make solutions, come up with ideas that maybe we can converse with in the comments about, that I can make new videos about, and that maybe if we all get together, we could tell our government how we need things to be. Now, we can't do that with hate. We can't do that by hating on people just because they need help, or because they call into question a bad policy proposal. I've seen comments for the last year on those 2 videos telling me I should just die. Some of the comments, there are some comments that have been so bad recently on some of the videos, I've had to actually delete them because I was scared YouTube was going to pull my video. That's all I have to say on it. The last thing I want to say is that this isn't happening. Like I said earlier, earlier in this video, HHS and USDA have said it would be a logistical nightmare, that this program just would not be able to work. And it would take too much food out of too many people's mouths. Now, if you want to put restrictions on things where you can't buy candy and soda and ice cream maybe on welfare, while you're on welfare, when you're on food stamps, whatever, maybe that's a debate we can have. Maybe we can have a discussion over certain things that shouldn't be allowed. But I'm not going to begrudge people for buying proteins. You know, I'm not going to hate on people for buying protein, because protein is very much needed. In my situation, it's one of the main things I need in a day is protein. And lots of protein. Because I lose a lot. And I don't have a lot. I don't make the proteins I need to begin with. So my protein levels, I need to eat lots of protein. And when I was on the program, there was no way that I was going to be able to supplement it with some kind of pill or a protein shake. And now in the situation I find myself now, I can't replace them. So some people have dietary needs that must be met, or they will die, or they will become very ill. So don't hate on people for when they need help. You know, but this was a bad policy idea, and it's a bad policy idea not because Donald Trump suggested it. It's a bad policy idea because it was suggested at all. It was a terrible idea, terrible concept, and Congress's lack of acting on it proves that. They're listening to the USDA, they're listening to the Health and Human Services, and they're not going to do it that way. They may pass cuts in the future to food stamps, but let me tell you this. Cuts to food stamps will not, let me repeat, cuts to food stamps will not prevent fraud. And if that's what your problem is, and that's what the main issue is I see with most people in the comments, if your goal is to get rid of fraud, we need to do more to clamp down on fraud and not clamp down on those people that actually need the program. This has been The Big Ranch Show. I've been your host, Jacob Keck, and I hope you learned something. I'll see you down the road.